Hello, I'm Leslie, and I've been on a journey of self-development, overcoming challenges like anxiety, unemployment, getting through divorce, and many others, while adapting to a new country like Germany, in my case. I want to share my experiences with you because I know how it feels like to struggle with no hope, feeling like a failure. But I know that patience, perseverance, and love are key. And I'm here to show you that it's possible to overcome these challenges. Especially for today, I want to remind you that healing is not linear. Healing is a journey. And if there's a time in your life where you thought like, okay, I went through this situation, I successfully overcame that challenge, or I went through that situation and it's never going to happen again. You thought to yourself, okay, I'm healed. But then later on, you go through a similar situation again, and maybe later on again. And that's because healing is not linear. Healing is a process. It's a journey. And that's what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to share my experience with you, my personal point of view, and I would love it as well if you share your experiences as well. If you are in a similar situation to what I'm gonna explain right now, or if you have been in a similar situation before, how you dealt with it or how well you didn't with it, and which are the next steps you're gonna take after this video in order to help yourself and get out of that situation. So to start with this topic, has it happened to you, as I mentioned before, has it happened to you that you really felt in a moment with your life, you were dealing with a specific problem, with a specific situation, and you really felt you had healed, and that later in life, or exactly when you think that you're healed, or a bit later, something happens that triggers you again, and then you're like, oops, I thought I had healed. I thought I was healed from that. Why am I feeling like this again, right? Has it happened to you? So I think that's something normal, completely normal, that happens to everybody, every single person. And it's because that's life. Life is a journey. You learn continuously. And healing is a process. It's not like you say, yeah, I did this and I'm healed completely forever, ever and ever, and perfect, and I'm not going to have mistakes again or feel again. No, we're humans. Life is a process. And the first thing you need to realize, first thing is like, congratulations, you realize that you got the triggers, something triggered you again, you are going through a similar situation again, you realize about it. That's the first step, very good. But it's also important when that happens. It's normal. Don't feel frustrated. Don't feel or don't get disappointed because of that. Because it's normal. It happens. Be kind to yourself. Be compassionate. Because it happens to everybody, and it's normal that that happens. It would be not normal that it never ever happens to you, never again. Because I think all of us go through different lessons in our lives, and not until we get really better at something, we'll not really get over it. And that's a continuous process. It could be from a situation, or it could be from different kinds of situations, not just one situation in your life. It's a life journey. So don't beat up yourself, be kind to yourself, and don't freak out. Don't freak out when that happens. It's okay. Relax. It's okay. Healing is a journey with so many ups and downs. So sometimes when you got over a certain situation, you really want to finish that up and really never have to deal with that situation, never ever again. That's what you want in your heart, and that's normal. That's perfectly fine. But like I said, there's many ups and downs in our journey, and you learned not from just one situation, but from different kinds of situations in your life as well, for different times in your life as well. So healing is a process. It takes time. But the good thing is, like, the more you face those kind of situations, the better you get at dealing with them. You build more muscle, and then you get more powerful. You get more empowered. Every time you face a situation like that, you become stronger. The more you do it, you become every time less reactive and more responsive. And it's not like when you're in this survival mode, you're like this and you think like everything that's happening in your life is gonna hurt you, and you feel attacked all the time, and like this person did that to me and this happened for me, and this because of I don't know what else I felt hurt, and everything is like a fight. So no, you learn to deal with those situations. The more you do it, you get better at it. And that's a beautiful thing about healing. There's gonna be a time in your life when you realize about it, when you even realize that maybe dealing with those situations, it doesn't really hurt you anymore, because maybe you got over it finally. It's not gonna touch you anymore. It's not gonna really have any kind of influence in your life anymore. And then there's gonna be a time where maybe you don't have those triggers anymore. But before getting to that point, it's necessary for you to build muscle, get stronger, and really empower yourself. And that comes through exercise. It's not just from one time. It could be from many different times in your life, many different type of situations. So you have to be patient. You have to be willing to put work from yourself to get over it, to fight, and to face with that fucking situation over and over again, even if you don't like it. Even if you don't like it. But every time you do it, you're gonna get better at it. That's the good news. You have more tools. You're gonna learn something new. You're gonna get more empowered. And there's gonna be the time, I assure you, 100% sure, where really you have built so much muscle and you're so strong and you really got over it, when those triggers you used to have before, they're not gonna trigger you anymore. Then you're gonna have a different kind of challenge in your life that you're gonna be facing or something. So that's life, and that's also part of the healing process that it's so beautiful about, and I'm realizing about it right now as well. And that's why I wanna share it with you. So going to my own experience, I wanna tell you, go through a situation in my life, the way I do with all of my videos as well, so you can understand it better. Some of you might relate to the situation or maybe not, but it's just an example from my own life. You can apply this for also many other areas in your life as well. So for me, one of the things I'm learning about is about letting go, about surrendering, about letting go and trusting life, trusting universe. And more specifically about people. Last time I had a really hard time letting go my ex. That takes a lot of time, and it's a process. It took for me like a lot of time, and I went through different situations. I went through anxiety. I went through a very difficult time where I was really not myself. I was not empowered. I was in a victim mode. Many things. And I was really struggling to let him go. It took many times. It took so much effort, so much willpower for me to finally one day say, hey, I'm not gonna put up with this situation anymore, and I'm fine. I love him, I forgive him. It's okay. And it's not gonna work. This chapter is closed and in the past. And it takes some time for that. And of course, every time that happens, it's not like, oh, if it happens in 10 years, then I'm not gonna be feeling bad, or I'm not gonna have to deal with it because I have dealt many times with it before. No, it's a situation that, you have to deal with it. And of course, every time you do it, it's gonna get easier. You know how to do it better, but still you're gonna have to face with some kind of things that you're facing and still have to work on in your life. So that was for me something that I thought it was good. I went through divorce, and I think all my situation with my ex is fine. I think we're good. We are at peace. I am at peace with him. And I let him go. I let all the situation go. My relationship, all in the past. Like, I started from you, and now I'm pretty good. Very happy. Happy about that situation, about my decision, about how I have grown and evolved all of this time. And I thought I was healed. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna have to deal with anxiety anymore. I'm not gonna have to struggle thinking about a person anymore or hold on to someone anymore. Never ever again. Well, what happens? After my divorce, I had met someone, and this person was interested on me. He really wanted to try something nice and for real. It seemed like, but of course, I was a chaos. I was not able to receive love. I was not able to give affection or to give anything from myself. I was completely broken inside. So of course I could not do it. I could not do anything. Of course, he realized about it. I was not able to communicate my feelings in a proper way, to be 100% honest with him. I was in my worst at that time. Not good. And of course, I know I hurt him. Many things happened on the way in the long term. I hurt him. And I was not that nice. Me being in my full being, in my wholeness, I would have acted in a very different way. But well, that happens when you're hurt, when you're broken, when you're empty. You have nothing to give. You don't care about other people. You disregard other people's feelings. So that's what I did. And now after my divorce, I feel a lot better. And I'm like, 2 years later, like I said, I feel healed and I feel a lot more empowered. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna try to reach out to this person again, let him know I'm willing to try something else. So I did, but I got really like not much energy from him, not so much interest. Like, yeah, he got back to me and he kind of tried to answer back and kind of tries, but you really feel that energy that is not flowing like before, that he's just like trying to be, I don't know, whatever, guys just want to have just something to boost their ego. But it's not, because he's maybe interested on me anymore. So I realized about it, and you guessed it, guys, my ego was hurt a lot. Like, it's still kind of like I'm trying to process all of that information that happened this year. And I'm like, wow, maybe he really forgot about me. Maybe he moved on and he's got not feelings for me anymore. And that's obvious. That's completely normal. That happens after 2 years. Of course, he might have met someone else. He might not be interested, whatever. And it's okay. It's okay. But it's my fucking ego that I realized about. And I was like, and there was a trigger there. Again, like I felt kind of like anxious. Was like, okay, but maybe he might text. He might not text. When he takes away, oh, let's say what he said, and like trying to put that much energy and also like a little bit like anxiousness, not that much, I cannot compare to last time, but you realize the trigger and you realize you connected and you know how it felt, right? So for me, in my case, I was like, wow, I thought I had healed and that I would never ever felt like this again. But I kind of feel it, not that much, but yeah, like and if you know that if you let it, if you feed that feeling, it's gonna grow and become a monster. That's what you need to avoid. And that's why you really realize about the triggers immediately. When you feel that trigger, when you feel how you're feeling, and you're like, wow, that's similar to that situation before, really, you realize that there's something else you have to learn in life. And that's something I'm dealing with right now. And I'm like, okay, wow, I thought I had healed, but actually I need to work on some more things. And I'm learning about that. I really thought about it. I'm like, okay, what happens? This is my trigger. How do I feel? Why am I feeling like this? And I realized that actually it's because of my ego. I don't even know this person. It's not like, yeah, I love him for what I know from this person, but I cannot love him to have something else because I don't know him. I don't know him, so why would I put energy on him? Why would I want something from him? If it doesn't work, it's fine. There's many other people, many other guys all around. Someone, for sure, there's someone for me that is meant to be for me, that is meant to be for my highest good as well. Not just any guy that just wants in my life show interest for me, and maybe because of that I'm holding on to it, and then I'm like, okay, he's not interested anymore. Then it's my ego that is hurt and says, how come this person doesn't care about me anymore or doesn't show more interest like before? And of course, it's my ego. I think about it. Okay, if this person maybe goes back to me and shows interest, would I really be willing to have something with him? Would I really be interested in him genuinely? And honestly, guys, that's something that I have to be honest with myself, and I'm like, not really, because I don't know this person. It's just my ego that is hurt. And that's something that I have to work. It doesn't have to do with the other person. It actually has to do with yourself, with myself in my case. And that's something that I realized about letting go. And I'm like, okay, let go of that situation. Let that in the past. That is something that is in the past. Don't put your energy on that. And that's why I'm focusing on myself again. Every time when I feel something like that, I'm like, and I go deep inside me on how I'm feeling, and I'm like, look, Leslie, you have to work more on this, or maybe this is what you're going through, or maybe that is what I'm learning right now. Maybe something else that has to do not just with the person, but about my ego. That something I'm still working on right now, and it's something different than what I learned before. Like more improvement in my life. So that's something I am dealing with right now, and I'm sharing it with you. So just to tell you that it's normal. It doesn't matter if this person reaches out to me again or not. I leave that to the life, to the universe. I trust whatever happens, it's fine. Just trust and focus on myself. I just love myself. I'm not gonna put my energy on that person or another person or something else. I'm just gonna put my energy, keep focusing on my projects, on my things, on my stuff. Every time that I feel something like, oh, maybe I'm thinking about this, or I'm thinking about, or maybe he texted me and I'm like, oh my God, what did he say? Like, get back to you. What are my priorities? Where is my energy right now? On me, on my projects, on the people I wanna help, on the message I wanna give. That's the focus, that's your priority. And every time when you have this in your mind, you're like, okay, the other things are not priority for me anymore. I'm not gonna put energy into that anymore because it's not worth it. It doesn't add any value to my life. And the more you practice it, the more it's gonna become a habit and it's gonna be internalized. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not saying I'm 100% perfect right now, no. And I know once I get over this and it's fine, I know maybe later on the road it's gonna happen something similar again, maybe with another friend or maybe in a different kind of way. Because every kind of situation that happens to you teaches you something else. It's not the same thing over and over, no. You learned something new from every situation that you go through. So something important I did and I'm doing right now, and I really need you to realize about that it's important. It's okay when that happens. Don't judge yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Be patient. It's okay. It's normal. But when that happens, realize about the patterns. Realize about the triggers. Act. You're like, okay, that happened to me before. I feel something similar to that situation before. Think about it. Get the trigger. Realize about the pattern. Write it down. Reflect on it. Understand the situation. And act upon it. You got this. Bring your energy back. Your power back to you. Even if you have to do it over and over and every time, get up, stand up, put your energy back, put your power back to yourself, empower yourself again, be whole. Do it. Do it. It's a process. It's a habit. Don't get tired of it. You get used to it. So to finish, I want to give you some tips about how to deal with the situation when it happens again, how to identify the triggers or what to do when you realize about this, that you're like, okay, I thought I had healed, but this situation is showing up again in my life. So first of all, don't freak out. Don't freak out. It's okay. And congratulations. Yay! Congratulations. Yeah, you really have to congratulate yourself because you are realizing about that. You have realized about it. Be aware of that, of your feelings, of the triggers. That's the first step. And that's something many people disregard, and maybe they ended up being in the same vicious cycle the whole time and never get out of it. Because they don't work on themselves, they don't realize about the triggers, the patterns, they don't work on that. But first step is to realize about it. So analyze about it, reflect upon it. If you want, write down the situation, write down how you feel, why are you feeling like this, and link it to that past experience. It should not hurt anymore. It's fine, right? You got over it. So link it to that experience. Remember, okay, what did I do in that situation? How did I feel in that situation? Why? Why is it different to now? What is similar? And what are the triggers? The triggers are very important. What happened? Why are you feeling like this? And then something else that is very important is that be aware that you have gone through that situation before. Since you can compare it, find the different similarities from situation before and now. Realize that you have gone through this situation before. And that's why you got the tools to do it again, even better. You got the tools to go through this again. And that's why you're gonna do it easier, faster, and you're gonna learn a lot more as well. You're gonna end up more empowered, being more powerful in your life. Remember, it's like a muscle in your life. You have to train, and that's what you're doing. You're becoming more powerful in your life, emotionally. So not that anything that happens hurts you. So be certain that this time will be easier. And the last tip I would really recommend you to do is to really reflect about why is it that this is happening to you, about the difference. Last time, what did you do? What did you learn? Okay, you learned to do this or that. In my case, like I let go of my ex because I realized that things would just not work. I loved him, I knew that person, but I learned that you cannot change people and there's different love styles for people. So if I'm very affectionate, physical, and he likes to be to give service and give gifts, maybe for him it's easier to understand my way of love, but for me it was really hard. That's something I learned. Or many other things I can tell you that I learned from that, not trying to change someone. So in this situation, it's not exactly the same situation, like the triggers are similar. I need to let go of that other guy that doesn't serve me at all. Actually, it doesn't add any value to my life right now, actually. So the focus is more on my ego. It's a different approach. It's something different I have to learn in this situation. And that's also very important because once you do it, you're gonna get better, like the same I'm doing right now. And next time that something happens, I'm gonna be learning something else. And every time I'm gonna get better. Every time. So that's something I really wanted to share with you. I'm gonna be talking about that later in other videos as well, and there's gonna be a time where I really tell you guys I forgot about this, and then I don't care about which guy. Like, I know how to deal with my ego right now and really use it for the moments that really help me in my life, but not in this kind of moment. Realize that you don't need anybody's attention to be happy. It's just your ego and it's okay, you know? It's life, it's something that is part of life, it happens to everybody. And the same way it happens to me, and I have dealt with it already. Now I'm kind of dealing with it again, and the same way I'm explaining it to you, the same way you can get over it with as well. You can overcome all those kind of situations. And not just once, over and over and over and over, because life is a journey. Healing is a journey. That's what life is about. And that's the beautiful thing about life. Imagine yourself being this small, starting here in your healing process. You healed, now it's like a flower. You healed, I become a little bit bigger, But the more wind you become, the more like challenges and the more things you can change, and you resist them and you get over that, you become bigger, 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 and bigger and bigger. And then there's gonna be a time where really there's like a big, beautiful flower blooming. But it's a process. It takes time. You need to be patient and be certain that it's not just once in your life. If you dealt with it once, you're gonna have to deal with similar situations further in your life, but you're gonna learn more things, different things, and you're gonna get better. You're gonna be more empowered, more powerful, stronger. And at the same time, you're gonna be happier with your life as well. Isn't that beautiful? So if you're going through a similar situation like that, identify your triggers, think about it, put all of the tools that I'm telling you about that, write down your experience, how you're feeling, what has triggered you, everything. Please write it down, think about it, and take action. Please write down in the comments below if you want to share your experience and what are you doing to deal with it. How is it like for you? And happy to see you the next time. Love you.